back from spring break and welcome to week 8. Looking at our assignments calendar, it appears to be a very light week. You'll be watching this video, or rather this presentation, and you'll be beginning your design plan. So let's take a look at what that means. Your design plan is an extension of the work that you have already begun through your learner analysis and the readings that you did the week prior to spring break on the necessity of problems and why training fails. So if you head on over to the course materials folder here for week 8, you'll see a description of this assignment. It's pretty low risk because a design plan here for this course is entirely hypothetical. It's not a real client, it's not real time, it's not real world, but you will be going through the real motions of how to write a design plan and the most common elements included in it, which we'll take a look at here shortly. So based on what you know about the history of ISD, the most frequently used models, which we researched and discussed in the first 3 weeks of the course, as well as the requirements for modern ISD positions and the KSAs most commonly found in job descriptions. Again, that was part of your first assignment, preparing for a career in ISD. You all did this work already. You will actually write a design plan for the population of learners in this course. And you know who they are because you did a learner analysis and posted it about 2 weeks ago. So you will be writing a design plan for a course called Entry-Level ISD and the Modern Graduate. Okay, that's the hypothetical course that we are designing, and we are all designing the same hypothetical course for the same population of learners, this group right here. So something to keep in mind. The exercise is really about gaining experience and developing mastery with the components of a design plan. It's not so much about how perfect your course content is or how perfect your design plan is in relationship to the topic. It's really about fluency and mastery with the formatting and the thinking. So just stay focused on what matters. You might make a few misses in the content, and that's okay. As you have all experienced in the assignments that you've submitted already to date, everyone's design plan will look slightly differently. You'll each approach it kind of differently. You'll take different angles, and I really like that. I like that you each have the opportunity to make the work your own, and without being overly prescriptive with you about what the work needs to look like or what it needs to include. It's most interesting for me as your instructor and for each other as your learning peers to see the different ways that you can all approach the same assignment and get to a right outcome. You're all ready for this. You've done the work. You've done the research on what ISD is, its history, where it's going, what the modern ISD looks like in the workforce, what it takes to be competitive. So rely on the work you've already done, the effort you've already invested in the assignments we've done to date, and you're going to bring it all together in your design plan. So let's take a look at what a design plan actually is. So if you head on up from the rubrics tab, design plan is the blueprint for a lesson. So also you can use a design plan for a course or an entire set of curriculum or a program. It depends on what you're designing, but the plan is the blueprint for whatever that final outcome or event is. It outlines what you know about your learners from your population analysis. Great news, you've done that. The justification for the course to be delivered. Great news, you've done that because you understand the gap. You understand the gap between where our current learners are and where they might need to be to become, as a graduate, to become a competitive ISD. You know what content it might include because you've done your research on ADDIE and the other most common ISD models. And you know how it will be evaluated because you have done your reading and research on Kirkpatrick. We'll be using his 4 levels as our framework, and you know what the outcomes are because you have done your learner analysis and you know what people hope to achieve by being here. The design plan is the point of reference, and it becomes the connective tissue throughout all of the further stages of the ADDIE model. So through development, implementation, and evaluation, your design plan is the connection between all of that. While it can look many different ways, there are standard elements that I recommend you gain fluency with and confidence with when writing. Right? Every design plan should include these common elements, and they're out here on your rubric. And it looks like this. The first thing is you want to write a rationale. Why are we offering this course? This particular course. Is a training solution justified? And how do we know that it is? And in this case, you're going to rely on what you know about the necessity of problems and why training fails. Then you want to introduce a target population or for the event. A target population is a derivative of your population or your learner analysis. Not all training can reach all people, nor should it. So when you write your target population, you want to be specific about who this course is designed for, who it's intended to impact the most. And you know that because you've written your learner analysis and you've been in community learning with all of the folks in this course. Then you write a description. What's the course description? And this is not intended to be a mystery. You've all read course descriptions before. Indeed, you read a course description on the syllabus that I wrote for this class. Then you write your objectives, or a lesson plan should include your objectives. And your objectives need to be written in ABCD format. An ABCD format is an objective that includes the audience, the behavior, the conditions, and the degree. And there are readings about each of these. And if you have more questions or want additional instruction on this, I'll record a separate video on that. And you want to make sure that your objectives are SMART, that they're specific, measurable, actionable, realistic, and time-based. You will include your evaluation strategy. And your evaluation strategy is something that you should already have begun thinking about. We began this before spring break. And an evaluation strategy, if you write it well, begins at the end and sort of reverse engineers its way down. So you look at the outcome, like the business impact or the big impact you're hoping to achieve, which is your level 4. What sort of behavior change or transfer has to happen in level 3? What learning makes that possible from level 2? And then you should also include a level 1, which is a basic reaction to how much people enjoyed the course. You should probably think about facilitator prerequisites and participant prerequisites. You know these things. You can just guess at them based on the work that you did in the first 4 weeks of the semester, followed by your learner analysis. And then the types of deliverables that you think this training should include, whether those are checklists or PDFs, PowerPoints and presentations, videos, e-learning modules, whatever you think is, whatever deliverables you recommend based on how you are designing this course and the description that you've written. And then finally, I will look at all of that and really gauge the soundness of approach. Trying to determine, did you understand the assignment? Did you understand the elements of the design plan? Is there a strong relationship to the analysis here? Did you follow the ADDIE model? Do I see how your logic built? Have you demonstrated growth and improvement over time? Your design plan doesn't have to be perfect, but it should be better than the work you submitted first, right? We want to see that you're getting better and developing more mastery and more fluency as the semester builds. That will look different for everybody. That's a subjective analysis of your work that I make. And then ultimately, does it demonstrate your best effort? Again, that's a subjective evaluation that I make because and I keep that in here because I have had semesters where I've seen work that is technically accurate but really lacking in effort, and I want to really make space for you to put your best effort forward and give credit to you for the level of investment that you put into the assignment. So let's just review this. If you go back to your course materials folder here in week 8, here's what you're building. You're writing a design plan for a hypothetical course called Entry-Level ISD and the Modern Graduate. That's the hypothetical course. We are all designing the same course. And when we design that, we are all going to write a design plan that includes these common standard elements. A design plan should include a rationale, a target population derived from the population analysis or the learner analysis, a description of your course, objectives in ABCD format, including your audience, behavior, condition, and degree statements. It should include a 4-part evaluation strategy based on Kirkpatrick. It should tell us any prerequisites that you recommend for the facilitator as well as the participants, deliverables you recommend, and then my subjective evaluation of an objective evaluation on the soundness of approach. If you're unclear how you might know any of these things, don't despair. Go back over to your portfolio. I'm just going to hop onto AJ's here. You can look at your very first assignment. This is going to give you a lot of insight about the modern graduate and entry-level ISD. Job titles, common KSAs, desired competencies, career progressions, skills we need. It's all in here. You all wrote one of these. And if you feel like the one that you wrote doesn't give you enough information, go read what your classmates wrote. So you have plenty of content for that piece of the assignment. You all have also written learner analysis or population analysis. So we know who is and who isn't prepared for an entry-level ISD position. We've all written recommendations on how to address those gaps. Right? So, and if you are feeling like, oh, I'm not really sure that I have what I need, hop on out to the portfolios and look at someone else's learner analysis. I just opened Kate's, right? So they're everything you need to know to write a design plan for this hypothetical low risk course is available to you in the work you've already done. The analysis of the gap between where we are and where we're trying to be is knowable, and the evaluation is also knowable. So that's where we're going to begin. If you have any questions, please do listen to this at least twice, look through the rubric, look through the course materials folder and reread that assignment. Read through this on the rubrics page. Post any questions you have to our course here in the Ask and Answer forum, and we'll get you started. You have 2 weeks for this assignment. And again, it's really important that you think more about technically how to write a design plan than worry or focus on whether or not you really are a subject matter expert on the modern ISD and recent graduates. That isn't as important. It is not as important that you get the content of the course right, entry-level ISD and the modern graduate, but that you get the framework right, and that you get your thinking right, and that you approach this assignment with the right logic and the right steps. Okay, so get started, and if you have questions, as I'm sure you will, please post them on the discussion forum. I will answer them there. And we will begin. We will begin with design, and we're going to have some fun. Welcome back from spring break, and I will see you all real soon.